Today, I'm going to teach you how to base your minis. Right guys, like I said, I'm going to show you how to base your mini. Today we're going to be using, we're going to go for like a wasteland look. So it's going to be like quite a lot of dark greys and then like a highlight of a dry brush with a bit of Ushabti bone on top. The end result is going to look a bit like this. So as you can see, it's not so much a wasteland, kind of like a desert kind of look, but it works well with, if you want this as how your army to be based. Now this makes it look a lot better than just if your army is pure black on the base. It doesn't take a lot of effort to do this. It's quite simple. You're going to need some basic things. You're going to need your highlight color, which for me is Ushabti bone. You're going to want a texturing piece. So for me, I use gravel. You could use sand, anything like that. You're going to need some static grass, and I'll show you how to make it stand up and all that sort of thing, instead of having to use a static grass applicator. Also, I use some cheap black paint. We're going to water that down to make a wash. Otherwise, you're going to be using loads of your wash for your models in this, and it soaks it up a lot. So what we're going to do is, like I said, we're going to do it like the model I showed you a minute ago. We're going to do it onto this model here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get our PVA glue. Now, most people will water it down a bit. I prefer to use it neat. Yeah, I think it's personal preference to a sense. So we're just going to get a dollop on there and a dollop on the back. And all you're going to want to do is brush this around until it's all into the nooks and crannies and all that. I advise use an old brush. You're going to wreck this thing by doing this. So as you can see, just brushing that glue around. Try not to get any on the rim. If you do, it's not a problem. We'll go back round after. We'll just wipe it off with your finger. Make sure you get rid of those feet. You don't want to get it onto the actual miniature in anywhere, but you want it close enough so that it doesn't look out of place once you put the gravel on. So as you can see, we're coming up to the final bit now. So now we got a good coat everywhere. Just put that brush to the side. And get the gravel. The gravel is, what you're going to do with this is you're going to get the mini and you're literally just going to submerge it into your texture. Let it sit there for a few seconds. Now what this does is make sure that everything will stick to that PVA glue. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take it out, and you want to basically smack off the excess. Make sure there's no big builds up. Now, like I said, with the sides as well, you want to kind of like a pushing motion when you're wiping it off, but you want it all off that rim. You don't want to add, you don't want it on the side. You can get it off at a later point, I suppose, but obviously this makes it just, takes away that having to worry. So there you go. That's the texturing done. As you can see, it just looks rocky at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back with the shading and then highlights, and then we'll have that final piece with the static grass. Right then, so I've stuck down the texture. PVA glue's all dry and all that. And what I've done is I've put a wash over the top of it. Now as you can tell, it doesn't take too much from the colour. Darkens down a bit. Obviously that's the original colour, very light grey. It goes like dark grey, about like mid to dark grey. So our next step now is to dry brush it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to dry brush with a bit of Ushabti bone. Now this adds quite a nice contrast to the grey, and also gives you quite a nice look for like a wastelandy kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is, as I said, dry brush this on. As I've always said, good way to check if you got enough paint off to do your dry brush. Check on the back of your hand. If hardly anything comes off, it's brilliant to use. It's a good start. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to dry brush all over this. And a few spots get a little bit lighter than the rest. To be honest, I don't mind that. I quite like that look because it adds something different. you know, once it's you're looking at it from afar, you kind of spot it out quite nicely and all that. So like I said, you don't need a mass amount. I will say it probably does help if you're going to do this before you glue down the miniature, so you got the base on its own. But as you see, there you go. The Sharpie Bone doesn't add a mass amount, but it lets you pick out certain stones and all that. It looks quite nice. So just get the last few areas. And now, the next step is the static grass. Now with the static grass, I like to put it in little clumps. So as I showed you earlier with the Blood Reaver, the grass comes in little like kind of tufts and all that. It's pretty simple to do. All you gotta do is get your trusty PVA glue again. And what you're gonna do, get this as a lock on, there we go. Just gonna add a few dollops where you want it. I want one about there-ish, a little bit smaller. And I want one there. So, what we're going to do now, static grass. I'm going to get some tweezers. And we're just going to do this. Kind of like, actually nah, we won't use the tweezers, stuff like that. I'm going to get static grass, just going to sprinkle it on. Make sure it goes all over that PVA. Get a good layer. Tap off any extra. And then we do the same process again until we're happy with the finished results. So like I said, you may see when you're doing this, it looks like PVA's there. That's perfectly fine because PVA actually clear, you know, dries clear. Good trick while doing this, you blow it, the actual grass stands up. So get a bit more on that little piece there. So I'm just going to pop that down, top off the excess. And there we go. As I said, that's simple now. Do a bit of touch up here and there. And there is the finished piece. As you can see, now you can see the PVA quite a lot, but as I said, it it dries clear. So yeah, that will be for kind of like a wastelandy thing kind of look, which is what I've done for most of my miniatures for this particular set. And I reckon it looks quite well. Obviously, I may have gone over a bit board with the front piece here, but again, it's going to look different once on the table and stuff like that. So yeah, I hope that helps with, basic basing for your miniatures. But yeah, the next video we'll be doing is the same kind of process, but we'll be more based on roads and stuff like that, so for your more modern games. So I hope that's going to help. Yeah, I'll be, as I can see, it's just the base colours at the moment. This will all be finished off. As I've always said, I'm going to put my any other pictures or any finished results over onto the Facebook group. If you want to go over there, like the page and all that, it's called Pyro Painting Studios. Obviously, it's linked with this one. Then you'll see some other kind of like work in progresses and finished pieces all over there. Obviously, if you like this video, please like it, subscribe, comment, good, bad, I'll listen to it all. And until next time, see ya.